Well, hey, here's the inside of the Zpacks Triplex tent. It's got lots of space, but let me show you the one problem we had with it. First night in the rain, only the second night overall in our super expensive Zpacks Triplex tent, and we're in a bathtub. The tent floor has a bathtub, and it's a bathtub that's filled with water. This sucks. So the problem with this tent is that when we used it the first time in a rainstorm, the bathtub floor became a bathtub, and the reason is because at the bottom of the newer thermarest pushed the bathtub out and it protruded beyond the wall of the roof of the tent. And so I think I solved that problem very easily. What I did was take this loop off here, the clip off here, double it around and bring it back down, and I've done that already on the back side. So you can see that the bathtub here is much higher, and it's impossible pretty much to push it out beyond the sidewall of the tent. So it really is a bathtub now. I probably shortened it too much by doing that, but you know, these knots are hard to untie. And so I was lazy, but actually it probably wants to be about 3/4 the length that the Zpacks factory send them out with, and then the tent's pretty waterproof. I mean, it's been in a thunderstorm on the GR5 in France, and it was fine. So it's not a bad tent. The other problem is the vestibules though. Hold on, I'll show you that. So the problem with the vestibule is it's not very big. It's the same on both sides of the tent, and if you've got a stove under there, it would be a little bit sketchy. So cooking in the rain might be a problem, but if you're into cold soaking, which I'm not, then it would be great. I like to hot soak and sometimes cook food. So and under those conditions, when it's raining, the Tensegrity is far superior a design. But then the Tensegrity weighs about 1.5 times as much. Like, well, actually not that much. Maybe just over 2 pounds. 2.5 pounds as opposed to 1.5 pounds. And of course the other big problem with this tent is it's very expensive. It's $600 for the 3-person tent, which is far more than we've ever spent on any other tent. The Tensegrity was just over 100. And it's also an outstanding tent. So, you know, if you got the money, this is not a bad tent. Just make sure that you shorten these lines here so you got a real bathtub. Otherwise, you might wake up one morning to find your tent full of water, like we did. And just so you can get an idea of the size of the tent internally, with the full length thermarest, it comes, well, you got about 6 inches of room, both top and bottom, before it hits the edge of the bathtub with the shortened cords. And width-wise, we got oh, I don't know, maybe a foot on each side of our sleeping pad, so you could get a third body in here. Be a little bit cozy. Hello everybody, it's Ridge Route here from Over the Hills, and I hope the preceding videos give you a good idea of the only problem that we've had with the triplex tent. So is the triplex tent the one for you? Well, that depends. It's by far the most expensive tent we've ever bought. It was about $700, and we've used it 600 plus miles now. And we haven't had any problems since we figured out how to solve the rain sheeting into the bathtub problem that we encountered right at the beginning. So in addition to the triplex from Zpacks, we've also used the Sierra Designs Tensegrity tent. We used that for over 1,000 miles, including the thru-hiking the Pyrenees and the PCT until we reached Kennedy Meadows. But that tent was also expensive. It was about $550 retail, but we got it when it was being sold off because Sierra Designs discontinued it, so we paid about $250 for it. And that's also an excellent tent. It's also trekking pole supported. It's very light. It weighs about, what was it, 2 pounds, 5 ounces. And the triplex rather, from Zpacks weighs 1 pound 9 ounces. So the Tensegrity, which you cannot buy anymore, unfortunately, only weighs like half a pound more. And the other tent we used on the PCT for about 2,000 miles, and that's in a separate video with the Tensegrity. It was the Big Agnes Copper Spur Ultralight 2 that weighs also about, well, it weighs 2 pounds 12 ounces, and it costs $450 at retail. So again, is the Tensegrity for you? Well, if you got a lot of money, certainly. It gives you the most bang for the buck in terms of weight for volume. So it gives you the most volume for the weight, maybe not bang for the buck. And one thing I do find is that the Triplex is a little bit more claustrophobic when you have it all the way shut up. And you can't open it all the way because it's a single wall tent. In comparison, the Sierra Designs Tensegrity, you can pretty much open it all the way. You can open both sides and you can open the front all the way. And so even when you're enclosed and safe from the mosquitoes or even the rain inside the tent, it still feels like you're out in the open. And that tent also has a lot of room. So I hope you found this video useful. And to conclude it, I've added a series of stills of our use of the Zpacks Triplex tent on the GR5 in France. So I hope you enjoy that, and thanks as always for watching.